Akanksha Upadhyay. Let's begin with the main stories. Public continue to bear the brunt due to dismal state of infrastructure development and service delivery for decades. Government's glossy promises deemed ironical. New medical education bill registered at National Assembly against the agreement forged with Dr. Govinda Kesi. Dr. Kesi arrested in Jumla. Tens of thousands of people joined nationwide protests across the US over the Trump administration's hardline immigration policies. And Portugal suffers a 2-1 defeat against Uruguay in the pre-quarterfinal encounter. Argentina also knocked out of the World Cup following a 4-3 defeat. Let's begin with the latest national political updates. There seems to be nothing left that the current government is going to accomplish merely by going by its pledges made to the public. Most of the government's agenda are confined to papers instead of being implemented. Selling the glossy dreams of rail and water transport but failing to live up to even minimum and primary responsibilities has added to a collective dissatisfaction among the public. Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli assured operation of waterway from Tribhuvan Ghat of Navalparasi to Indian city Kolkata within December in his public address. Next day, in his Twitter message, former Prime Minister Baburam Bhattarai urged the Prime Minister to instead focus on developing domestic roadways that are significantly damaged and insufficient throughout the country. He said that the Premier's priority should be to end the people's immediate plight before making any flamboyant promises. A majority of roads in the capital itself are in a sorry state, let alone the dreams of metro and mini rails along with water transportation, which rather appeared far-fetched at the current juncture. Most of the ministers also, along with the Prime Minister, are currently occupied in making lofty promises to the public. But ironically, the government has been miserably failing to take care of even the basic needs of the public. Experts suggest that for now the government should spend its energy in fulfilling immediate needs of the public instead of selling false hopes for mere popularity. Now, lawmakers of Province Number 2 have been found misusing the 1 million rupees provided to them for development of their electoral constituencies by spending them on their relatives and parties' cadres. Minister for Law and Internal Affairs for Province 2, Gyanendra Kumar Yadav, could not find a better use of the fund and has given 400,000 rupees to a temple being constructed at Dhanusa's Mithila Bhari municipality. The temple, however, does not need the assistance as it is being built by the locals itself. With only 1 week remaining before the current fiscal year ends, Minister Yadav has failed to produce even 10% use of the budget. Meanwhile, in Sohani of Lakshmi Nia rural municipality of Dhanusa, the 1 million rupees fund is being used to construct boundary wall and reparation works. Provincial Assembly member Anita Devi Yadav has appointed her party cadre Ram Bilash Yadav as the chairman of the Consumers Committee and handed over the responsibility. However, 70% of the works have yet to be done so far. 13 of the Provincial Assembly members in Dhanusa have been found misusing their funds by pocketing it themselves and spending them on party cadres. Based on the regulation, the fund is supposed to prioritize women, children, differently abled, Dalit, marginalized community and people under the poverty line. However, lawmakers are found to have spent the funds on community halls, roads and gravels and temples, among others. The lawmakers are the ones who should be checking for the progress and quality of development works and devise policies accordingly. However, their negligences have raised the usual question of who will monitor their activities and take actions where needed. The government has registered a new national medical education bill at the National Assembly to replace the previous bill in order to facilitate establishment of new medical colleges in the capital. With the previous medical education bill, the Dewa-led government had prohibited establishment of medical colleges in the capital for 10 years. The bill also limited the number of affiliations a university could give to 5. Both these main provisions have been modified in the new bill that was registered at the National Assembly yesterday by the current government. The previous bill was hard-earned by medical practitioners and noticeably Dr. Govinda Kessi, who put up series of hunger strikes in order to eliminate malpractices seen in the medical education sector in order to improve its quality. The modifications made in the most important points of the previous bills have been strongly protested by the Medical Association. While the current government has failed to execute its plans of establishing a public medical college in each province and conducting MBBS classes in all of the existing health and science academies, with its step of registering a new medical education with the government is seen impatient to bring a law that would ease up the process of establishment of medical colleges once again, which the Medical Association believes once again threatens the quality of medical education sector. Now, meanwhile, Dr. Govinda Kessi has been arrested by police in Jumla earlier yesterday. Dr. Kessi was arrested from Jumla's District Administration Office to prohibit him from staging another hunger strike. Dr. Kessi was stopped and questioned by the police as he headed to Karnali Health Science Academy for his site visit. He then had to reroute to the District Administration Office Jumla. Dr. Kessi is currently under custody at the District Police Office and has announced his hunger strike from the office itself. And with this, we'll go for the international update. Tens of thousands of people have joined nationwide protests across the U.S. over the Trump administration's hardline immigration policies. More than 630 events were planned, with protesters calling for migrant families split at the U.S. border to be reunited. Some 2,000 children remain separated from their parents, despite President Donald Trump bowing to public outrage and curtailing the policy. Concerns remain that records were not kept linking parents and children. Major protests took place in Washington, D.C., New York, and many other cities using the hashtag Families Belong Together. In Chicago, protesters marched to the local offices of federal immigration authorities. The original Trump administration zero-tolerance policy required authorities to arrest and detain anyone crossing the Mexico-U.S. border illegally. That meant separating children from their parents and holding them separately. There is no denying 1/3 of Nepal's economy has been based on remittance. There are hundreds of thousands of Nepalese toiling abroad to bring in money by risking their lives. However, despite these risks the Nepalese are facing, the government has not done enough to prioritize their safety, security and justice. There are many cases where Nepalese have died and have been injured in attacks who need justice. However, government's apathy towards these cases remain unchanged. Nobody can forget the incident of 1st of September 2004, where 12 Nepalese were killed in Iraq. It is almost 14 years now and their families have not received any justice, and the government has not put the required effort either. Their families did receive 20 million rupees each as compensation with the help of non-governmental organizations. 13 other Nepalese who worked for a Canadian company died in Kabul, Afghanistan 2 years back in a suicide bomb attack. The government has not done anything for their families either. Non-governmental organizations have filed a case for compensation against the Canadian government 10 days ago, demanding for at least 30 million rupees as compensation. Nepal has an embassy in Canada, through which the government could have easily lobbied for compensations and justice. However, the lack of interest is so ghastly that the government could not even bring forth the compensation issues when a Canadian team had come to capital to discuss on the incident. Every day, around 1,200 Nepalese youth leave the country for employment, majority of whom are taking works that pose great risk to their lives. It is imperative of the government to support these Nepalese workers. Now, yesterday we asked the residents of Kathmandu, why has the government been boasting of large-scale development projects while failing to attend the construction of small infrastructures that is affecting the daily lives? Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
जनताका अति आवश्यक कामहरु पनि छिटो भन्दा छिटो गर्नु पर्यो। यहाँ धुलो र धुवाले ज्यानै जान लागिसक्यो। जनता पानी खान नपाएर प्याउ परिसक्यो। अब खाली ठुलठुलो योजनाको मात्रै कुरा गरेर हुँदैन।
अलि राम्रो पानी हैन, राम्रो बाटो अनि सुपथ मूल्यमा खानेकुराहरु, लत्ता कपडा हैन गरिबले राम्रोसँग लाउन पाओस्, अब भूकम्पले क्षति भएको छ त्यो बन्न पाओस् रेल केलाई चाहियो अहिले
सानो कुरा यो नबैन अति आवश्यक भएछ भने त्यो हामीले ठुलो कुरा सोचेर हुन्न प्लान त गर्नुपर्छ तर अहिले त्यो प्लानको आवश्यक छैन यही चाँडै गर्दै हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ
बाटो हो कि मेन आउने जानेलाई गाह्रो अफिस जान पुग्ने घर नआउन्जेलसम्म पिर पर्ने त्यही हो
मोदी आउँदा चाहिँ तपाईँको उसको आयतसम्म बाटो बनाउन सक्ने तपाईँको यहाँदेखि साँखुसम्म चाहिँ बाटो बनाउन नसक्ने सरकारले
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse. Undo.
Your question: why has the government been postponing relocation of vulnerable communities? Your options are A. Reconstruction authorities' ignorance, B. Government's apathy, and C. Lack of local pressure. The voting for the question is on. You can type in WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinions with us. And it's now time for the sports update.
Sports news.
Edinson Cavani scored a pair of goals to lift Uruguay to a 2-1 win over Portugal in a round of 16 knockout match in Russia in the late-night fixture. Cavani provided Uruguay with an early lead when he headed a shot past Portugal goalkeeper Rui Patricio in the 7th minute. The lead held up until the 55th minute when Portugal's Pepe also replied on a header to redirect a shot into the net and even the score at 1. In the 62nd minute, Cavani put Uruguay back on the top for good. He timed his steps and blasted a curling shot into the back right corner of the net. The defeat marked another abrupt exit for Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo, who at 33 years old might have played in his final World Cup competition. Frustrations boiled over for Ronaldo, who drew a yellow card during stoppage time and would have missed the next match had Portugal advanced. Now, Kylian Mbappe scored twice as France dumped Lionel Messi and Argentina out of the World Cup with a 4-3 win in an outstanding round of 16 played yesterday. Argentina had come from 1-0 down to lead 2-1 in a match eliminated by outstanding goals from Di Maria and Benjamin Pavard, but a quick-fire second-half double from Mbappe put France firmly in the driving seat before Argentina struck again in added time. Kylian Mbappe contributed 2 excellent goals in France's win. Antoine Griezmann's early 13th minute goal gave France the lead in the match. France got a penalty after Argentina's Marcos Rojo fouled Mbappe in the D-box area. Griezmann made no mistake to have the penalty converted. Soon in the first half itself, Argentina Di Maria broke France's lead, making the score sheet read 1-1. Argentina took the lead in the second half as Gabriel Marcelo found the net. However, just 4 minutes later, 19-year-old Mbappe equalized for France. Mbappe found the net twice in the 64th and the 67th minutes. With this, he has become the first young player to have scored multiple goals in a knockout phase of a World Cup since 1958. Prior to this, Brazilian player Pelé, at the age of 17, had scored 2 goals against Switzerland. Now, meanwhile, 2 matches are slated for FIFA World Cup today. Russia will take on Spain at 7:45 p.m. Nepal time, while the late-night fixture at 11:45 p.m. will see Croatia go head-to-head against Denmark. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories one more time. Public continue to bear the brunt due to dismal state of infrastructure development and service delivery for decades. Government's glossy promises deemed ironical. New medical education bill registered at National Assembly against the agreement forged with Dr. Govinda Kesi. Dr. Kesi arrested in Jumla. Tens of thousands of people joined nationwide protests across the US over the Trump administration's hardline immigration policies. And Argentina knocked out of the World Cup following 4-3 defeat against France. Portugal also suffers a 2-1 defeat against Uruguay in the pre-quarter-final encounter. That's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for more news and entertainment and updates on FIFA World Cup. Have a great day.